Hey fans and subscribers, this is your host Joe on the Gaming for Insight channel with you to bring a video for the segment Device Arena. In this video, the 2025 MSI Claw 8 AI Plus with the Lunar Lake Intel Core Ultra 7 processor 258V goes up against the 2024 One X Player X1 3-in-1 device with a Meteor Lake Intel Core Ultra 7 155H. The Claw 8 weighs in at 796 grams, and the X1 Intel weighs in at 789 grams, without the Joy-Cons attached. For round one, I cover areas of each handheld I think can compete. Share with me what you want to see, though, for round two. Okay, our contenders have now entered the arena for the first round. Both of these devices are not on the smaller side, which gives opportunity to feel the presence of them, whether in hand. If you are using the X1 Intel, you can use it as a laptop with its magnetic keyboard or as a tablet. The X1 Intel is a monochromatic black. The Claw 8 has a color contrast with its sandstorm color scheme on the left and right side, with black surrounding it in other areas. Both devices have RGB options. With the Claw 8, it is noticeable immediately below the joysticks and on the YBXA buttons. On the X1 Intel, you have a small light on the back of the device, and then you have the RGB feature below the joysticks. The YBXA buttons do not have the RGB feature, and that would be nice for One X Player to implement in a second series of these attachable Joy-Cons. Both devices have options for back programmable buttons, which can provide you the opportunity to customize what buttons you press for games like Diablo 4, using the device's console software. However, do note that the Joy-Cons need to be attached to the X1 Intel to use the back buttons, at least with the firmware I am using. The Claw 8 has a touchscreen, 8-inch Full HD 1920 by 1200 resolution with 120Hz refresh rate and VRR support. Having the 8-inch display does allow for captivating gaming sessions with your favorite games. The X1 Intel has a larger display, and this is very nice to have in handheld mode for your favorite games. The X1 Intel uses a 10.95-inch 2.5K resolution LTPS display with 2560 by 1600 resolution. That is also touchscreen. The X1 Intel does not have VRR support, though, on its display that can make gameplay feel more fluid. I find that the joysticks on the Claw 8 have some tension, but not as much as I would prefer. I would not compare the experience of them to that of handheld DIY modded joysticks. If you want to use joysticks with the X1 Intel, you can pair a controller via Bluetooth, USB, or other means. The X1 experience includes accessory Joy-Cons to use with it that make it as a handheld. The Joy-Cons slide into the ports on the left and right with ease. The joysticks on the Joy-Cons, though, move too easily beyond what is my preference at least, and I'd rather use the joysticks on the Claw 8. The Claw 8 has a good feel regarding its weight distribution. I don't feel one part is unnecessarily heavier than the other, and holding this for longer periods of gaming is approachable. The X1 Intel I find can feel heavier than I prefer for longer gaming sessions. On the X1 Intel, the center of the device feels the heaviest, understandably, while the Joy-Cons are very light, so the experience feels equivalent to holding something heavy by a handle in a way. Also, the Joy-Cons have a wobble to them on the X1 Intel when attached. Importantly, though, this issue is not apparent with the same Joy-Cons on my One X Player X1 Mini. The Claw 8 has no attachable Joy-Cons, so even though it is not designed as a 3-in-1, it's a dedicated handheld in its design and form factor with integrated controls. For the X1 Intel, you can also use the attachable keyboard for gaming as well, which provides versatility within its 3-in-1 form factor. Recent One X Player devices at least come with a USB Type-A port, not just USB-C port, and I find that I use this port quite a bit for a proprietary Bluetooth dongle. The Claw 8 has no USB Type-A port, but does have two USB-C ports like the X1 Intel, so you can attach a USB dongle if you want to. The Claw 8 competes in sound quality with the X1 Intel. The X1 Intel and other One X Player devices within my collection have always been paramount with sound quality. The X1 comes with the Harman Audio EFX speakers. Neither device uses Dolby Atmos speakers. The speakers are front-firing on the Claw 8, and the speakers are on the sides for the X1 Intel. Here is the Claw 8 sound at 50%.
Got another blackout in Santo Domingo. Netrunners are at it again, poking holes in the power grid. While over in Westbrook, trauma teams scraping cyber psycho victims off the pavement. pavement.
Now here's the X1 Intel sound at 50%.
Got another blackout in Santo Domingo. Netrunners are at it again, poking holes in the power grid. While over in Westbrook, trauma teams scraping cyber-psycho victims off the pavement.
The console software on the Claw 8 is MSI Center, and on the X1 Intel, it is 1X Console Game Center. These console software options have many commonalities, including adjusting the TDP value, adjusting the fan curve for maintaining desired temperatures, viewing all of your games in one central location, adjusting controls and programming controls extending to button configuration, joysticks and triggers, and more. Both have a quick access menu where for the Claw 8, this emerges on the left-hand side, and for the 1X Console Game Center, this quick access menu emerges on the right-hand side. I find that both quick access menus are designed for me to have access to what I need when in game or about to start a game without having to go into the main console software menu. The quick access menu for 1X Console Game Center is more detailed centric with an expandable menu even as well with more options. The quick access menu with MSI Center M integrates with the Xbox Game Bar, which is opportune to have when you want to socialize with friends, for example, while gaming, and I use this option often myself. The MSI Center M quick access menu is not as responsive when bringing it up compared to the 1X Console Game Center quick access menu, though I reason that MSI will address this issue in a future BIOS update since the last BIOS update made an improvement for it. MSI Center M does not provide the same options to adjust TDP values as does the 1X Console Game Center software from the quick access menu and main console software menu. I do not find I am needing to use more options on the Claw 8 than the software provides, though, and with the X1 Intel using its Meteor Lake APU, I keep the TDP set at 30 watt or high performance mode more than 90% of the time. Both MSI Center M and the 1X Console game software provide a central location for finding your games installed. The GUI for each feels different, but both provide the same experience for me overall. One feature that I am using frequently is the AI engine mode in MSI Center M that adjusts the TDP on the APU based on what I am doing on the device, like with gaming. AI engine mode within MSI Center M provides dynamic adjustment for optimal performance, power settings, and hardware features without manual tweaking. However, I don't use this mode for all of my games. 1X Console Game Center does provide the Intel Dynamic Performance mode, specifically on the X1 Intel, but I would not consider it an identical feature. 1X Console Game Center provides the Game Trainer feature. I don't use this feature myself, but if you are looking for making your gameplay easier and without limitations, then this may be for you. MSI Center M does not provide an equivalent feature, but for me, I am not looking for it. Next, 1X Console Game Center provides a performance settings area where you choose an application like Steam or even a game and have preset settings set, including what you want your TDP to be set at for when the application runs. This is a neat feature for if you have multiple games installed and would prefer to not tweak your settings each time you play one game and then switch to another. There is opportunity for MSI Center M on the Claw 8 to implement this same feature as an extenuation to the game profile settings area. What inspired me to compare these two devices was actually the gaming experience for each, as the Claw 8 uses an Intel Lunar Lake APU, while the X1 Intel uses a Meteor Lake APU. What intrigued me was what experience the Battle Mage graphics architecture could provide for the Claw 8. The AI engine mode available through MSI Center M is not unique to the Claw 8, but I find it works well for some games, and I reason it is because of Lunar Lake and Battle Mage compared to Meteor Lake and Arc, respectively. Reducing the resolution to 800p from 1200p on games additionally too provides a playable experience for games. The 80 watt-hour battery on the Claw 8 creates a great use case for having a playable game for a longer session targeting a lower TDP value than 30 watt. Use of the AI engine mode approach to set a lower TDP for me with 800p or in some cases 1200p in games on the Claw 8 provides a playable experience. In contrast, my year-long experience, even with the maturity of ARC drivers for the X1 Intel, has been to keep the TDP set at 30 watt, so to have a playable gaming experience. The maturity of ARC drivers on the X1 Intel, though, has significantly improved the experience with some games. Though frame rates even at 30 watt TDP set on the X1 Intel are not as high at points as I have seen when using the AI engine mode using the Claw 8. Micro stuttering in Cyberpunk 2077, for example, has significantly improved with the ARC driver maturity on the Intel Core Ultra 7 155H, creating a playable gaming experience. The X1 Intel, though, is not defined or limited by the Intel Meteor Lake APU. There is an Oculink port supporting 63 gigabit per second bandwidth for an enhanced eGPU connection. Also, the X1 form factor comes with different APU options in models that released after the X1 Intel that perform even better. Okay, so how did the Claw 8 and X1 Intel do in the arena for round 1? Who won? What do you want to see in round 2 for the Claw 8 versus the X1 Intel? Let me know in the comments. I look forward to reading what you have to say. So until next time on Device Arena, I should go.